aware, it's the 5th of February already? No, it's the 6th of February already, and I'm just willing winter away. And while I do that, I thought I'll keep myself busy cooking and cooking with you and having some fun. So today I am kind of improvising a little bit. I'm pulling together a bunch of little recipes, and I think I'm going to end up with a very nice soup, and in fact it will be a beet soup. So I'm essentially making borscht today, and it's my very first time. The other thing I'm experimenting with is actually making the chicken stock myself. I thought, you know, I've got these pieces of chicken in the freezer. I don't know what we're gonna do with 5 legs of chicken just between the two of us. That's just enough for Eris by himself. So I'm going to use those to make the chicken stock with. What I've got here to start with is I've got my bay leaves, and I've already chopped up an onion and a bunch of mushrooms. I've got some rosemary. Oh my gosh, it smells amazing. And some salt, and I'm boiling the kettle right now just to get 2 quarts of water boiling, and then I'm going to prepare the chicken legs for the frying pan and get them mostly cooked before I stick them in the water. Usually when you make a soup, it's already cooked when you throw the meat in, so I'm aiming for that. And the other thing that I'm going to endeavor to do is to remove the skin from the chicken legs so that I can make a very delectable appetizer treat of just the skin all by itself. So let's see how it goes. I'm going to pull the skin off. I don't know that I've ever even done anything like this before. I'm just gonna give it a little bit of a scoring. See if I can get my knife under it here. There we go. And tear it out. Maybe it'll come off easily. Honestly, I don't know. It seems like it should. Oh, here we go. Yeah. Feels like I'm skinning a rabbit or something. Oh, just the thought. I don't like handling raw meat actually at all, but I really like crispy chicken skin. So I thought, yeah, I'm definitely gonna try to make this myself and see what happens. There we go. And I think if I just pull a tiny bit harder, or maybe put a slice in here, slice it all the way around, and then pull, I'm gonna have an inside out chicken leg. Oh, it's not that easy, obviously. Maybe I should have Googled this too. Tell you what, I'm gonna just tear it off with the knife at this end. Oh, if my husband saw this and how I'm using the knife, he would have a hairy fit. Come on, chicken skin. Okay, scissors. This is the next best thing. If all else fails, get scissors. I don't mind if a little bit of skin is left on this chicken after I'm done. That was a feather. We don't want feathers in our chicken skin. So that's pretty good. That's a pretty naked piece of chicken. I watched Eris pull the thin backing off the ribs that he made last night, and so I figured this would be just as easy, but it's not. Or else he's a lot stronger than I am. But smell isn't everything. Oh dear, I make me laugh. They say when you laugh at your own jokes, it's a problem. But today, I don't mind sharing my problematic life with you. All right, we're cooking with gas. I have dredged the chicken skins in a little bit of baking powder, not baking soda. It's in the pan and starting to curl up nicely. All I did with it was put it in some olive oil in the pan and then sprinkle some salt and pepper over it. I think that often we overseason our food, and sometimes all you need is a bit of salt and pepper. Very simple, and chicken skin itself has a ton of merit, so I don't want to add too much to it here. I think it's going to be truly delicious. I'm just about to flip it over now. There we go. One. I didn't take too much trouble to fuss with stretching it out or making it flat. It's kind of curled up, and that's okay too. The pan looks delicious, even what's floating around in the pan here. Wow, fantastic, fantastic. Okay, wow, I think I have outdone myself. Okay, these legs are now browned on both sides, and what's going to happen next with them is they're going into the big pot. But first I'm going to take them off the heat here, and in the pot I'm going to melt some butter and put a little bit of olive oil, and I'm going to saute the onions that I've chopped up on that. Alright, I've got some butter melting in the pan there. Just going to swish it around, coat the bottom of the pan, and then in goes the olive oil again. Yeah, okay, that'll be good. And we'll just wait for that to bubble a little bit. There it goes. And in go the onions. Oh, I think there's nothing better than the smell of onions cooking. But, hello chicken skin. Wow, it's getting nice and brown. Just gonna turn it over one more time. Oh, just looks amazing. So there's our chicken skin. Yum! It looks really good, doesn't it? Yeah, tasty. The onions are looking great now. Okay. So now the chicken legs are going in this pot, not with the water yet. I'm going to drop them in the pot, and they can continue to cook with the onions and the butter and the oil. I'm just going to turn this down a tiny bit and put a lid on it. The recipe I'm following says that the chicken should simmer in a pot or a pan for about 20 minutes with the onions and butter and oil and everything. So that's what I'm going to do. These legs are actually rather meaty, so I want to make sure that they're cooked through enough before I add the water and start to begin to make the broth. I'm just going to toss in this bowl of mushrooms that I have. These are left over from the other day when I made stuffed mushrooms. They're peeled, washed, peeled, and chopped up into slices, and I thought that they would add just another element of flavor to things, so in they go also to this deliciously simmering pot. It's a pot of deliciousness. My gourd. I'm going to throw the rosemary in on top of this here because I think that while this meat is cooking in this pot, to infuse it with this flavor of rosemary is going to be a good idea. And I might reserve the last sprig to throw into the water when that whole thing is happening here. So I'm just going to keep one aside. Come have a look at this. There it is, sizzling in the pot. This is the base for my new chicken soup stock, or chicken stock, that I'm planning to make borscht with. And the smell is absolutely heavenly. I think we're almost ready here. Timer's gonna go off. Oh, there it is. The timer went off. So that's about 15-20 minutes with the chicken and onions and mushrooms simmering in this pan of oil and butter, and now the juices have been released from the chicken. So that's the objective. And what the directions say on this lovely recipe is just to scrape up the bits that are stuck on the bottom before you pour the water in, so that they're part of the mix as well and they're not stuck forever on the bottom of the pan. Get the onions off the side, stir it around. It's really looking delicious and smells fantastic. I even got the seal of approval from over there, Eris. Okay, I'm going to pour this hot water in here. I think I might even get my mitt going to help support the bowl. There we go. Yeah. Uh-oh, I poured a lot on the stove. Let's hope the burner doesn't go out. It's still going? Yeah, poor thing. Okay, 2 teaspoons of salt now into the broth. 1, 2. And don't forget the bay leaves. So 2 or 3 bay leaves as well. And the rest of the fresh rosemary. Boink! Right in there. So this will now sit on the stove. We're going to raise the heat and bring it to a nice boil for the next 20 minutes or so. Setting the timer right now. There we go. Oh, well, I have to brag a little bit. This is the broth. I've pulled the chicken and all of the onions and mushrooms out of there, and all I'm left with is a beautiful golden colored broth. It's my first time ever doing that. I'm quite pleased. Here's the chicken right next door and the mushrooms. Oh, actually that could be dinner just by itself. It's my sous chef. So he is cleaning the beets right now and peeling them.
He's got the beets, he's got the beets, he's got the beets.
We've already diced and chopped up our potatoes and carrots for this borscht that I'm attempting to make.
Is this your borscht?
This is my very first time making the borscht. Borscht time, yeah. Yeah.
Did I ever tell you the story about Alexander?
No.
When he was a little kid?
What?
So Alexander, when he was a little kid, like all little kids, whenever we go to the store, he'd freak out. I have to have this, Daddy. I need it for my Pokemon collection. I need this Lego. I need. I have to have it. I have to have it. So, came up with the idea to really carry large bills in my wallet.
Oh yeah.
So whenever we would go anywhere and he wanted something, a toy, anything, I would say to him, I don't have any small change. One time, we were at Toys R Us, of course, or in the mall rather, and he wanted to go to Toys R Us. Okay, fine, let's go to Toys R Us. He was quite little.
Yeah.
3 or 4 years old, 3 years old, 2.5.
That's pretty
Probably
little.
probably three. And the reason why I say that is I don't think he could read quite at that point. Anyway, we walk into the Toys R Us and he had to have something. So I said to him, Alexander, I only have a $100 bill on me, and I did. I only have a $100 bill. I showed it to him. And I said, go ask the cashiers whether they take $100 bills. I knew very well that they didn't, because there was a great big sign above the cashier that said, we don't take $50 bills, we don't take denominations higher than 50.
Yeah.
So poor little Alexander went over to the cashier and asked the question, and you could see him just sink. And he comes walking back. He says to me, no, they don't take $100 bills, but are you sure you don't have anything smaller? Alexander, I really want to get this for you, but it's not me, it's Toys R Us, it's the company.
It's not my fault.
It's not my fault. Okay, Daddy, that's fine. So then another visit to the mall, same situation. I really had to this toy. We went through the whole exchange. We went to go ask the cashier, came back all disappointed. I know. Are you sure you don't have anything smaller? No, I don't have anything smaller. Well, the third time we went, walk into the Toys R Us, he turns to me and he says, yeah, I know. Walks over to the cashier. This time, he comes walking back. He's all smiles. He's all happy. There's a little hop in his step. And he says to me, well, Daddy, they don't take $100 bills, but we're in luck. He raised his little finger, but we're in luck. Sorry. But we're in luck. I said, what is it, Alexander? They take debit or Visa.
So we've got some garlic here ready to go, a bit of onion. There's already onion in the pot, so I didn't use too much.
Look how much is just 3 beets, right?
Yeah, that's a lot of
Is it going to be too much, you think?
No, I think that's good. The recipe calls for 3 beets. So, yeah, oh my, that's going to be fantastic.
So 3 beets,
Lovely.
so that means it's getting served on the downbeat or the upbeat?
Good one. He's been paying attention, clearly. Yeah, how many degrees do you have now, Eris? You have
I have a PhD from the University of Eris.
the PhD from the University of Eris, which includes biochemistry, biomedicine, interior design, business administration, that's Alex, and now music. Huh, who knew? The man likes Vivaldi, I have to say. So I'm back here with this little pan, and we're going to do the middle step, which is preparing more ingredients for the pot. Going to put some olive oil in the pan, and then I'm going to saute the onions and the garlic that I've prepared, and also add this, about a half a tin of tomato paste here. So let's scrape these out. Get all the garlic out. And then once that's simmering a bit, maybe a bit more olive oil. Yeah. This pot is set to boil, hopefully. And then we'll go to the next step together. Our pot has come to a rollicking boil. That's a good thing, so I'm just going to turn it down a tiny bit while I finish with these. Here's my wooden spoon. I'm going to throw the tomato paste in now. The onions are starting to become clear. Get this going. I'm going to add this to the soup now, to the broth. Stir that around. It's looking wonderful. And the next step is to put all the grated beets in. And it says to boil the beets now in this broth until they lose their color. So what will happen is all this gorgeous red will be transferred into the broth. I'm so thankful for Eris when he does this prep for me, to grate cheese and grate beets and cut carrots and chop things. Oh, it's really helpful.
Are you saying I'm great?
You're great, honey. Okay, let's just do a little color test. So the beets are supposed to lose their color into the water, and I'm just going to lift a few out and see how they look. Oh, well, they're still a bit red. My God, what a beautiful color. Ah! Let's keep going with this for another, at least probably 10 minutes at a nice light boil. I'm back with yet another step. Now that this is sizzling along nicely and the beets are looking a little lighter in color, I'm going to put in the potatoes and carrots. And I suppose I should do this slowly, because if I drop them all in at once, I will surely burn myself. that's another step completed. The lid goes back on. And the final thing to add to the mix is just about 8 ounces of whole tomatoes. They're chopped up. They're not diced as the recipe calls for, but they're chopped a bit and in their own juices, so that will also go in, but not until the potatoes and carrots have had a chance to soften up. And now for the final step, in go the tomatoes. Things are looking very nice here. Okay, tomatoes, in you go, along with your sauce. And it's in this recipe that I'm following as well, which I've kind of been winging a little bit. Salt and pepper to taste. I'm gonna put in a generous couple of pinches of salt now and grind in a few peppercorns. There we go. And a trick that Eris almost always adds to his spaghetti sauce, and he puts in a lot more than I'm going to here. The recipe calls for just 1 teaspoon of sugar. So there we have it. That's the final step. For this soup, I'm just going to allow it to simmer for another probably 15 minutes. I want the potatoes and carrots to be as soft as possible as well. I feel like I should have a scarf on, and you should call me Baba. You should call me Baba. By the way, how many of you know this little trick? Instead of tilting your lid like this to let air out while it's boiling, if you have a toothpick and you just set it inside like that, your pot will never boil over. I don't know why. My mom taught me that, and I use it all the time now. Thanks, Mom.